Nadi Pariksha, or the pulse diagnosis in Ayurveda, is something that requires several years of intense study and also guidance to master. In this course, we have brought in the different levels of pulse diagnosis in regards to different diseases and what the pulse feels like. However, it requires a lot of creative thinking. The most important thing when taking a pulse is to start to take a pulse diary. Start to assess your own pulse at different times of the day and also relative to different seasons. For example, in the autumn time, Vata aggravates and accumulates, and the pulse will feel dry, hard, rough, and fast. In summertime, Pitta will aggravate, and so therefore the pulse, especially in hot weather, will feel very sharp, penetrating, and will have unctuous and hot qualities, and a jumping nature like a frog. In the winter time and in springtime, there will be a kapha type of pulse, as also in cooler, damp weather as well, for example when it rains. At these times, when you take the pulse, feel how the pulse feels slower and dull compared to other times. Start applying the different qualities of the doshas to the pulse itself to begin to establish a kind of as I've mentioned before, a diary of pulse. Take your own pulse, those of friends, family members, and colleagues. Take ones of different people of different constitutions you've already taken the physical constitution of, and see how they relate to the pulse. See if you can pick up a disease imbalance in their pulse as well. Take note of different people with different diseases, for example, those having rheumatoid arthritis, other people that are very healthy people, those that are obese, those that have heart disorders, those that have diabetes, and see if you can start to feel the rhythm of the pulse of these different types of people and pick up the different changes in the pulse and their nature, and start to become perceptive. In Ayurveda, we require a lot of our own insight. So, in order to develop our insight in yoga, one of the techniques that is done is yogic samyama, which is yogic concentration. So, by developing samyama, or concentration on the nadi or the pulse, we can also begin to become more directly perceptive about what is happening within the person's pulse itself, and after a long period of time we can begin to extract a deeper sort of essence of the person and their well-being throughout the pulse, even in regards to the different koshas or the different bodily sheaths as well. We can also pick up different karmic imbalances in the pulse as well. And as I mentioned, these are very deep perceptive measures that require a lot of meditation, a lot of spiritual discipline or sadhana also. So I encourage all students to make sure that they do some kind of sadhana or spiritual practice relative to the mantras that are given in the Exploring Mantric Ayurveda ebook, so that they can begin to bring this into their practice. Mantras, especially to deities such as Dhanvantari, the founder and the deity of Ayurveda, whose mantra is Om Dham Dhanvantaraye Namaha, and also to Lord Ganesha, who has several beautiful mantras, but one simple mantra that can be used for him is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. These mantras are best done on a Thursday, the day that relates to the Guru or the teacher. And by doing these mantras on this day, especially if we have a murti, a sacred image of them, or a picture, and we're burning some incense in front of them and also a lamp, then we can begin to connect with them on an inner level. And by doing this, we help to bring ourselves into the greatest sphere of spiritual healing in the world as well, so that we can begin to access some of the greater energies of great past rishis or seers such as Dhanvantari and the deities that bless us with the knowledge to be able to take the pulse at a deeper level, as well as our own observations and meditating and thinking about the different levels of the pulse when we take it. What things can we directly perceive from the person? So we can take our own pulse. Take your own pulse right now. Place your index finger just below the wrist bone, the middle finger following that, and the ring finger in last place, in the kapha place. Press down deeply until you can't feel the pulse at all, and then slowly release the 3 fingers until you can feel a pulse. Now start to assess which of these 3 fingers, Vata, Pitta or Kapha, which of these is stronger at this very moment, at this very time, and what factors are also affecting this. Now check all 3 fingers individually to see which one is the strongest and which force you can feel within the pulse. For example, sometimes at the Vata finger you can feel, in the index finger you can feel a more Pitta type pulse. In the region of Kapha sometimes you can feel a more Vata type pulse. Note them in regards to the different organs also, whether you're taking the pulse deeply or superficially. And as I mentioned, it takes a long time to do this, but to develop awareness, and also with our sadhana, our spiritual practice along with this, becoming more perceptive about the pulse, trying to take the pulses of different people with different diseases and disorders, eventually we do actually begin to integrate the higher, more insightful levels of pulse diagnosis into it, so that we don't just become mechanical practitioners.